Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. Today, we're taking a look at, from the Beast Hunters Transformers line, Cyberverse Commander Shockwave. I got this figure off of Amazon. Um, Paid a little extra since he was just put up, but he's still available with his wavemate Starscream. And I gotta say, I really like this figure, but I do have a couple issues, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Same typical Commander packaging on the front, and photoshopped image with abbreviated bio on the back, and of course the same stock prime image on the bottom showing the season 1 cast. Well, let's get to the figure right now. Okay, here's Shockwave. One thing I need to mention is in packaging, he comes with his arm posed across his stomach like that, like he's just thinking and wandering. I think that's a perfect in package pose for him. Also, the fins here on the rear are folded down. You just want to fold those up. He has this great metallic purple sheen. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Hopefully, it's really showing up on camera. Um, we'll come in for a closer look in a bit, but I just wanted to point that out right away. Articulation, nothing in the head, nothing in the waist. Ball jointed shoulder, a lot of that's for the transformation. The shoulder does actually rotate independently. Ball jointed arm, ball jointed elbow. He has a full hand here. Same type of articulation for the upper arm here, but there is more of that swivel due to having the gun. And when you have the missile in, you can't have the arm straight down. Ball jointed hips, single jointed knees, a rotation joint at the knee. We'll get into that for transformation, and really nothing for the ankles. Now, let's take a more detailed look at Shockwave. Here's a close-up of Shockwave. Great head sculpt, very close to how he looks in the Prime cartoon. Big red eye, and you can see more of that shimmering metallic lavender purple paint. This is the type of paint quality I would expect from a Takara release. I mean, I'm really blown away by this. You see a lot more of the muted gray in his arm, down the legs, and then some black for the feet and knees. So, yeah, I really can't say enough about the paint look to this figure. Okay, so we're going to start transformation. Now, it's fairly simple, but as I mentioned, there's a couple issues. I really felt like the instructions were missing something out, and I couldn't figure out what it was, but it's more when you get to the legs than the upper part. To start off, we're going to turn the figure around. You're going to fold down his little shoulder spikes, and then you're going to fold up the treads first on a gray joining piece, and then continue to fold them forward until they're angled somewhat like that. Next, you're going to go ahead and rotate the arm inward so the palm is facing towards his back. Come in, bend the arm back, and as you're doing so, bend it at the elbow and position it to peg the forearm into a hole in his rear. That is very similar to the Voyager transformation. Next, you want to come back and bring the treads back into position, just like so. You might have to adjust them later when he's in vehicle mode. Next, it's best to just lay the figure down and then proceed to fold the feet straight out, bend them upward at the knees, and then basically it's not clearly shown in the instructions, and this is where I have issues. You'll notice on the legs there are tabs, or what I think are tabs. Basically what you have to do is rotate the legs out and then rotate them up at the knee and get them out of the way. Now, I kind of want to say that the legs are supposed to peg in some into underneath the waist area, but they really don't, and I'm hesitant to force the plastic in due to concerns of it breaking. Um, if that is the case, I do apologize, but I just don't want to break it. Next, you want to come up, pull the chest piece forward, up and over, down between the. Make sure it you fold it straight that it pegs into this black piece here. Fold it down. Straighten the legs out so they're sort of surrounding it. Again, they don't peg into anything, and you'll notice that the big wheels will be touching the ground now at this point. Next, what you want to do is you want to come into the chest area and flip these panels out down around the sides so they're spread open like this. Go ahead and flip Shockwave's head forward into what was his crotch. Kind of funny there. Next, what you want to do is go ahead and bring the gun arm up. As you're doing it, you're rotating it around so it's pointing straight up, and just have it forward like that. You're then going to close those side panels back up into position. The one on his gun arm side, you'll have to finagle a little to get over the hump in his shoulder, and then finally come around and bring the gun cannon down, and there's a tab on the bottom that will peg into a hole in the top of his waist. So really all that's left is, even out the legs and wheels and have you, and you have Shockwave in his tank mode. Like I said, I think I tend to prefer the robot mode a little bit more, but I think a lot of that is due to the nature of the transformation and how I'm not quite sure those legs are 100% accurate. The gun can fire, and it's actually very nice. It's a pressure launcher, but this black and purple part you're going to push forward, and it will launch the missile. And I think that's really cool. And it does go quite far. It's like a little interactive type of thing, and I just think that's fantastic. I really like how Hasbro is now starting to move away from spring-loaded launchers to these pressure launchers. The tank can roll very nicely. There's really no new colors shown in vehicle mode. I am impressed that it can roll. I thought that was a nice touch. I mean, those big wheels on the front here are fantastic. I think definitely works as a Cyberverse figure better than the Dark of the Moon Shockwave. In terms of recommendations, I would say wait for this until retail, because I don't think he's worth the premium now, especially if you can find the Voyager of the figure. The Voyager has a bit more bells and whistles, and in my opinion, and again, this is just going off of other reviews, tends to go together a little bit better than the Commander class, which I have here. Things peg in more. That's not to say this is a bad figure, and I think it would be an excellent addition to your collection. Just, wait for the retail release. So, this is your old pal Chuck for Shockwave. We'll see you next time.